My name's Jenny Engledow and I'm the Secretary of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. The Women's International League for Peace and Freedom was first started in 1915 when there was a conference that was held at The Hague. It was set up in response to the First World War, but its predecessor really was many of the women involved had been busy in the suffragette movement, and women had been gathering in various countries, and there were several countries who used to meet up, and they would discuss ways of moving forward with trying to get the vote. They organised this meeting with great complexities because of people trying to travel from countries that were already at war as well. Some 1,200 women came from all over the world. 180 something had tried to get there from this country, but weren't allowed. Most of them weren't allowed passports. In the end, only 20 of them were allowed passports. They went to Tilbury Docks, but weren't able to travel because by then the North Sea was in. So only 3 of them managed to get there, which was a great shame. But those 3 worked their socks off, basically. Crystal Macmillan and Mary Sheepshanks were both very important women. They raised a lot of money to help some Belgian refugees, and they supported 80,000 refugees. Jane Addams from America was another very important person, character in the establishing of WILP at the beginning. I first met Eileen Daffern probably, I think it was in the 1980s, because we were involved in CND, which was very big in this town at that time. So she was a very important person in CND because she had her history being very long in the peace movement. The whole ethos of WILP is basically equality for all, specifically women, because from when it was started, women obviously had virtually no equality, and economic justice, and the elimination of disarmament, the elimination of weapons, particularly nuclear weapons. These values obviously still continue. They're still, undoubtedly, we can look around, and they're still absolutely essential and a long way from being achieved. Sadly, we're still needed. We always mark International Women's Day, have a stall at whatever events are going on. We always have a ceremony to mark the Hiroshima bombings. We also mark other days, international days. This year, for example, we had an event to mark the International Conscientious Objectors Day. Their experiences were so appalling I mean, reading the poetry of Siegfried Sassoon. It's heartbreaking and has to contribute and has to have contributed for many people to the peace movement. For the centenary, which will be next year, our centenary of WILP, locally we're going to have an exhibition in the Jubilee Library. Nationally, there are going to be other celebrations in London, and other branches will no doubt be holding events as well. Internationally, we're going to The Hague, and we're going to have, I think there'll be about 1,200 women members attending several days of discussions, where we are now, what we're going to be doing in the future, and so on. And that should be a very interesting few days.